I'll start from here. So whatever we are using Ariba is just cloud solution. So you need to just use the URL and log in into the system. All the functionalities, the supply chain functionalities. So if you want to learn Ariba, you should know the supply chain process. So what it is supply chain? Just process flow of goods and services. Simple in one word is process flow of goods or services. So it may be anywhere. So whatever minerals or material we're getting from the source of earth or any chemical combination, and it will go to the end product, and finally again it will decay and it will recycle. That is complete chain process. We have so many industries in the market, and all the industries were using different. Okay, example mining industry or software industry, banking industry or pharma industry. Everyone is using some software tool to manage their data. Okay. So for that, what data is completely flow of goods and service data. So we have supplier data and their sourcing information data. So sourcing data means event data and contracts, and then buying data, complete buying data and invoicing data. So what are the buying invoicing data? We have a PO or PR or GR or invoice or payment, whatever it is happen, these all data. In the contract management, we have agreements and active contracts or something so these complete data, these are all the complete data are stored in some tool, okay, aligned with master data. So what are all the master data? Every organization will have their own organization structure. So in that organization structure, they will have like company code that is their entity, and then purchase organization. Every company will have their own purchase organization with region by region or multiple company code will have one purchase org, and then plant storage. So these are all organization data. After that, accounting data, accounting master data. So to check the budget, they will have accounting GL account. So GL is general ledger, cost center, work breakdown structure element, internal order, asset. So these are all some accounting data. And then plant address or bill to ship. So these data. So the complete flow will be in this area. So in the supply chain, supply data, how you are storing the supply data, how you are managing supply data, how you are processing, sourcing, contract, buying and invoicing with this master data. So these are all the master data, and we have a transactional data. So transactional data is not a permanent data, it is temporary. So this year PO data will be something different, next year PO data will be something different. But these are all permanent master data. So processes, if I say these all the data and how we in, incorporate into the process, it depends on the business process. So it may be depends on the procurement process. So in procurement, we have a direct procurement. We have many types, but direct procurement is to buy raw material. Okay? And indirect procurement associate to direct procurement. Let's say Hindustan Unilever. Everyone knows that Hindustan Unilever organization, where they are very big Fortune 500 FMCG industry, HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Okay, so they are FMCG industry, Fortune 500 company, and they are manufacturing all the day-to-day products, paste or soap or all the powder items or liquid items, shampoo. So detergent items. So these are all the items they are manufacturing in India around 30 plus locations, 30 plus plant in India. Okay. So Their core activity is to buy some essential goods to manufacture the raw material. I mean, to manufacture the finished product. But they have their own infrastructure. Okay. And even they do have to advertisement and they do have some corporate sponsorship. And then they do have all contract staffing. So there are so many activities. This is separate process. So this process is something called indirect procurement, which is associated with the manufacturing sector. Okay, they will have both the procurement process and they will manage their entire spend in different procurement process. This is what direct procurement and indirect procurement. Without knowing the process, we will not be able to work anything. If you don't know how to access mobile, if I give you mobile, you will just look into it. That's all. You don't know how to access, how to navigate. So what are the thing is there inside? What can we do? If we know, then we can try at least. So that's why procurement process is something important. So it is same kind of buying product in Amazon. So the procurement process is something buying product in e-commerce. So this e-commerce is only for business to customer. It is not interrelated with business to business. Business to customer means I have my own Amazon account. I can search the goods or service whatever I want. I can procure it. I can place an order and I track the product. I receive the product. I can do a prepayment or post payment. If any defects or any issues, I can do the return process also, replacement or return or cancellation also. That nobody is going to teach from Amazon how to create purchase order, how to find the goods, whatever I want. That is something business to customer. Everyone in general perspective, everyone who know English, who has mobile and who have ability to buy, they know the process of procurement and sourcing. If I want to purchase some mobile, I cannot directly go and buy. I will check which is my budget, how can I source, which one will be feasible, what are the benefits, and then I will buy. So I do source, I do source the supplier, and then I do compare that, and then I'll go for the buying after that, after finalization with my budget. The same process we are doing professionally in Ariba, that is business to business. Ariba is also same kind of procurement tool, procurement software, where is only helps business to business. So business to business means company to company. So not with individuals. This is with something individuals. Okay, company to company, organization to organization, whatever we can highlight it. In this procurement software, they have predefined the business process as per the market standard. SAP had did so many research and they have included all the business perspective processes since 2012. So Ariba is not originated in SAP. It is acquired by SAP exactly 12 years before. I think 12, 13 years before in 2012. Okay. But Ariba is introduced in the market is in 1996 just to make IoT. IoT is something Internet of Things. So to reduce manual activity or paperwork activity. Okay. So I mean in 1996 or 2000, that time period is the beginning era of the Internet of Things. Earlier that it is purely on manual activity. We have to sit with printers and everything is manual, time consuming. After 1996, once Ariba is introduced, they have streamlined the process, all the struggles in the procurement process. And second, and then since 1996, 2006, 2012, after that, SAP acquired the product because it is grown. So SAP started investing their knowledge and their research to improve the product. and they have made so many improvements in the market. Every quarter, SAP will announce new releases, new features, and new functions. So that is something called SAP releases, where SAP every quarter and year SAP releases. So they will call SAP releases 2408, 24, 2505, 2502. So like that, we will get the releases. So this is something 2024 August release. 2024 August release. So every releases, they will always give some functions, features in the tool. SAP still it is developing the product, the cloud product. Okay. So we will learn the cloud end to end, all the processes. The processes is something for supplier management, supplier life cycle, business process of the SLP, and how it is being integrated. So I will give integration scenario with SAP ERP, with SAP ECC or S/4HANA. Okay. And consultant activities in the backend. So this activity is for integration consultant, and this activity for functional consultant. So this activity will be mostly taken care by technical consultant. So is something integration consultant, and this activity will be taken care by functional guy. Okay, the business process who actually use is the users. Okay, Ariba users, but it should be developed and tested by functional consultant. Okay, so like this, all the process. This is only for supplier management, supplier life cycle. So, and here there is one beautiful thing from Ariba. Whatever word they're using, it will have a direct definition. So you don't need to go with some additional research on that. So this is analyzing suppliers' entire life cycle from in the market, from the onboarding to the qualification or disqualification, or you can activating or reactivating complete supplier life cycle performance process. It is to manage the supplier. This is what module, supplier management module. Sourcing, you see what is sourcing, the direct definition of sourcing, the direct synonym, identifying or searching or surfing, whatever it is. So SAP have Ariba sourcing, where we have, as of now, we have only guided sourcing, but it is essential to learn classic sourcing. There are two type of sourcings, two method, guided sourcing, or two softwares, and classic sourcing. So classic sourcing is no more. So we need to know guided sourcing process, but it is not that much a complication to learn classic. Okay. So here also same business process, integrations, and then backend processes. The same, this is not a single package. You can go with the single package, or we have multiple package like strategic sourcing. We have strategic sourcing suite module or sourcing module. So these are all some module names. We will see that step by step. The same way we have a contract management and buying and invoicing. Okay. So let's complete some demonstration and we'll discuss these things, other things. Yeah. So here in Ariba, this is one product where we are going to use. Here we have a two streams. SAP have changed. I mean, in we have different. In we don't have complete stream. It will be one bundle. So if customer want to purchase procurement ERP, they have to purchase entire module. But in Ariba, we have segmentations. SAP itself classified the business processes into streams and segmentation. So stream, we have two level of stream. So one is high level, which is upstream, important level compared to downstream. Because high decision making activity, decision makers play. Okay. So high, what is high decision maker? Sourcing. We have strategic sourcing. Let's say, for example, if I want to close $1 million deal, I want to find right supplier for that $1 million deal. That activity will have a CPO, CFO, or purchasing head. Everyone will be included in that. Okay. So for that, the CPO, CFO, all the heads will be participating and making the decisions in the sourcing level. The same way, signing a contract, negotiating a contract. So all the legal team will be working in the contract management mode. For these two process, it cannot be done without supplier. So finding right supplier will be also important area. So supplier management. So these three modules will be in upstream. This is Ariba upstream. And in downstream, it is completely operational process. Operational and mostly automated. What is operational? Procure to pay. Procure to pay, or we call them buying and invoicing. Okay. So here, what we do, so this is only one module. We'll see all the sub process. And SAP has introduced in 2018. There is one more module. They wanted to track non-procurement professionals. The same method of guided Amazon. So that is something called guided buying. Okay. So this guided buying is only for buying and GR process with helps non-procurement professional to um, create to search their own goods and services in guided buying. Okay, all these Ariba upstream, Ariba downstream guided buying will be URL based. I'll show you the URL. I think it will be here. So these are all the URL. So in SAP system, we have a difference. SAP is ERP. Okay, we call them on-premise. So in SAP, we have a landscape, or we call environment. We have um, sandbox system or test development system, and then quality system, and then production system. So whatever test we do, have to do it test system. And then, I mean, whatever development activity we do, it will be in the dev system. And to check will be in quality system. And then it will be moved to prod. But in Ariba, it's not like this. Ariba is a on-demand solution. We call them on-demand or call cloud solution. So here we have a landscape or environment, what it would be, real method. We have only two type of real. One is test real and another one is production real. Okay, how can we identify the real? Using the URL. You see this URL, this is test real -t. This URL realm equal to this is customer name. Professor RSA is the customer and this is real. And Ariba have operating in 6 data centers. So Australia, Europe, and Gulf and US. There are two more. I don't remember. Those data centers will be included in the real time. This is URL just. So for upstream activity will be in parent site and downstream activity will be in child site. So both the site will be in the same URL. So you just need to navigate the site. You see here it is site. So now it is in sourcing. If I want to navigate, I need to go for the child site, C1. So this is the navigation of the parent site to child site. Parent site will hold upstream processes. Okay. This parent site will hold the upstream processes. What is upstream process? Supplier sourcing contract. Child site will hold the downstream process, P2P. Okay. And test real means you will get real made like this. Production real means that hyphen T will not get it. This is real. Mean in the real system. And then we have a bundle. We can buy bundle or you can buy module by module. So the package, for example, if you want to buy entire upstream package, that will be strategic sourcing suite bundle. Okay. If you want to buy end-to-end package source to pay, that is one package with having buy again, where that is customer list. Okay. And then here, what we need to learn, this is the thing you need to learn. You need to understand the process. If you don't know how to work, you will not able to develop things because you need to understand the existing business process. You're going to implement. So how I will teach here, I will teach from the implementation methodology, not from support or topic by topic. I'll give you one scenario. I'll try to help you to how to develop. Okay, let's say for example, um, there is a one requirement. I want the supplier request to get uh, tested or checked the duplicate in the name of email. The email must be added in the duplication. That is the requirement. That is one scenario. How to do that in backend and how to test in the front end. Let's say, for example, I'll show that. If I go to create supplier request, whenever I create supplier request, I have a supplier contact address. So if I add a supplier contact address, I should get this address should get validated with the duplicate. How can we do that? That is the requirement. How can we do that? Okay, so now suppose for example, when I submit the request, when I submit the supplier request by entering the data, and when I submit the request, I must get the duplicate request. See, I'm getting so many duplicates. Why? Because this email address is included in the duplicate check. Where do you enable this email address included in duplicate? It is in the backend. If I go to template, that will be configured in the backend. So once you understand the process, you will be automatically become curious to know what happened in the. If I go to template, I will always, whatever I'm teaching, I will take up with the screenshot so that you will be able to understand the process. So it will help you for your future learning. So kind of note making. So I myself take a note and I will share with you guys in real time, whatever we are discussing. Additionally, I will share my real time project requirements. Let's say this is my requirement gathering workbook from my client. Let it open. I'll go back to the template. It's still loading. Since this is practice system, only template will take time to load. Okay. So these are all the cloud solution to have a business processes. Apart from that, business processes are managed in Ariba cloud. In this cloud is having upstream and downstream. Other than that, we have a network. We earlier it was known as Ariba network before 2022. Sorry, before 2022, yeah. But now SAP renamed as SPN. which is SAP Business Network, where 6 million suppliers are already registered worldwide in real system. We have two type of business network here. One is buyer network and another one is supplier network. Okay. So 6 million suppliers are already registered in supplier network. So after this, we have this is second software. Let's say software. One Ariba Cloud, second network, and third one is yeah. Ariba is not a dependent tool. Sorry, it is not a independent software. It need ERP support. Okay, I'll show you the flow. I will get it. If I open any landscape, yes, this is one landscape. Architecture. This is called architecture. Okay. So whenever you prepare, after you learn the session, I mean, after you complete the course, you have to prepare your own architecture. How you work, what is the requirement, how data are flowed. So this is business network product one and Ariba Cloud product two is integrated with third product ERP on premise. Either ERP or HANA public cloud or non-SAP system. You need to, in the learning stage, you need to learn in one flow. So that flow I will be teaching with ERP. So what I'm going to teach? This ERP to CAG, how it is getting integrated, and from CAG to Ariba Cloud, how it is getting integrated. So here you need to learn some basics in ERP and then integration project, how it is being handled, and then Ariba Cloud business process, and then business network, purpose of business network. This all will be covered in the session. So I have defined the syllabuses also because without the target, we cannot just go on flow. Okay, so these are all the user activities for upstream process, SLP, sourcing, contract, and buying and invoicing. And after that, functional activities. So these are all the functional activities. So if you know how to work on implementation, you will be able to easily support. So SM admin activity, template activity, and then admin activity, core admin, sourcing library, contract library, I mean class library, all the things. Apart from that, this is business process and functional consultant role in Ariba Cloud. Additionally, nowadays in the market, they were expecting about buyer network. You should know some information in buyer network and how supplier is participating in the event. And this is something important. This is integration area, technical area about creating integration, mapping, routing. So if I navigate it to, so let me just, yeah, template is open. I'll come back to this syllabus. So in the previous question which I asked, how can I achieve to check the duplicates using email additionally? So I need to configure in the template. If I go to supplier request template, so I'm just showing it in the supplier request form. We have option to configure in the content. If I go to content, so this is very basic and just so here only in supplier request management you will have option to enable duplicate check. The same way in general question around to the world we are using this supplier request process. So many managers are there. How can you keep them into approval flow? For that, SAP is giving matrix data. Okay. In that matrix based data, if you enable to use matrix based data, system will use all the matrix based data and route it to the approval. Only for supplier management, it is given. If you go to that, this is the one. Commodity and region assignment, user matrix file or buyer category assignment file. If you set this yes, and if you keep all the members in the region and commodity based. If you're creating one supplier for Hyderabad region, and the particular buyer will be included in the approval process. If you're creating with Karnataka region, that particular buyer will be included. So this is something called matrix-based data. We have matrix-based region, matrix-based commodity, and matrix-based category. The same way, we have around 196 plus countries around the world and 1000 plus regions and 1000 plus postal code formats, telephone formats, address formats, bank tax. We don't need to configure by putting your hard work. Only thing you need to choose the answer type. If you go to the content, the same, you see this address type, we don't need to create street 1, street 2, street 3 and all. Only if you choose answer type as address, the format will be stored. The same way answer type is bank, the format will be stored. That is something called index-based data. So SAP Ariba in supplier management module, like this, they'll give you the hint of technical area. Apart from that, how it is being integrated. So these are all business process and functional consultant role. What about technical? How the data is flowing from one system to others. So we have some one-time activity. We go to SM administration, there is some one-time configuration, setting up the integration type and initial level supplier synchronization and setting up the default property file. So by using these two and enabling some configurations, configuration parameters. So for that, we need to develop some rise of elements. So automatic synchronization of ACM ID and setting up supplier bidirectional integration, data replication framework. So like that, some technical activity for each and every function I'll explain and I'll share the document. And let me come back to the real-time data. How requirements are being gathered. So we will have a standard SAP workbook to gather the requirement. Okay, so that I will share the real-time data. And then my project document, how the functional design documents have been prepared, how we are doing the system integration test, user acceptance test. So this is something my project requirement data. So this is what I worked in one downstream project. So how we have enabled and how we are setting up the approval process, what is field customization. So all these data will be shared in the training session. That is real time. So here I will teach you with the best practice content and I will share you the real project where the market experience you will get it from that real project data. So I will share you the implementation methodologies also. What is the step-by-step implementation methodology? I'll give up with some agile practices, agile best practices. And in the syllabus, as I said, will be this technical thing and then some SPRO activities. So we have some important T codes and SPRO configurations. Okay, so that will be also I will cover with the important data. If I open CAG, mm, let me open the file. Okay, not this. CAG. I have a end-to-end document with real-time data. Let's say SLP CAG. So these are all the standard document where we can refer in the real-time project once you get into the project. And this is my notes, important transactions code. How do we do master data export program? What are the tables we need to check? How do you monitor the IDOC? How do you monitor the web services? What is DRF out? What is DRF IMG? And what is web services configuration? And then how do we do web services configuration in SWA manager? And how can we set up the RFCs? And how can we set up the so I mean we don't do this. Basis do, but we should know because we are closely working with cross-functional team during implementation. So where can we maintain the tables? So after that, TAG, how we enable all this one-time activity. So I have with the screenshot and proofs where it will help you to understand the business process and you can practice. So these are with clear explanation.